they did a thing for the 50th too. You can do a video from all your photos that you did.
They're almost all 50th like filters still. They need
Yeah.
to update, and a lot of them are geo-based. Like you got to be in the parks.
In the parks.
But about the first half of them you can use at home. So
Well, that's good.
Anyway, what's up, everybody? We're early.
What?
I'm trying to outfox Taco Bell tonight. I'm not going to be.
That's only until my maternity leaves. You know, then I got to go back to regular time.
That's true. Well, you know what? I didn't think about this till this morning when I was in the shower after my run. That there is a secondary benefit to Mallory making varsity cheer.
And that is.
Remember how she had to cheer Monday nights last year because JV games are on Monday nights.
Got it. No more Monday nights.
No more Monday nights, baby. It's just Friday Night Lights.
Yes.
Monday night back wide open. We don't have to do that stuff, right? We had to do it like super early so I could get the game like at 6.
Yeah.
So I don't even remember what time the games were. 5, 6.
Early.
Doesn't matter. I'm not going.
There you go. That's good.
We need to go to the big games.
Nicely done. Yes. Nicely done.
To the H.
Oh, that's awesome.
HOW.
Yes.
What's the proper response?
I'm guessing it's ELL.
ELL.
If I just had to take a guess at it, that would be my guess. So.
Best high school in the land.
Such a dork.
I try.
In the land.
Yes. The land of St. Charles.
We will salute the H. No, in the state of Missouri, at least. At least. The state of... I need to tweet this out real quick and then we get started. Hang on.
Hi, Lucy. She just smiled at me.
Starting early.
She's starting to smile and she's starting to talk. But she's figured out that if she screams, you know, but it's a playful scream, I still look at her. So she's like, haha, sucker, I got you.
No screaming, Lucy. Facebook.com/Be Our Guest Podcast.
Yeah, she's got that impish smile on her face right now. Going, haha, sucker, you'll find out if I start screaming.
Land, Disney Cruise, Kingdom. Hashtag Murphy on fire.
Hey, my brother went last night and watched Fantasmic, so I got pictures of Fantasmic from last night.
Disneyland?
No, at Disney World.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. But they're still using the dragon. They're still using the dragon, and also, like, you know, there's still fire effects. So it's just not the fireball, I guess. Yeah.
Man, I'm glad I love Fantasmic at Disneyland. I'm so glad I got to see it when I was there.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be back eventually.
Towering Inferno, man. That thing was a mess.
Yeah, that's probably what. Yeah.
That was craziness.
That was craziness. And there's like trees and stuff around at Disneyland. It's a
Yeah, there is. Tom Sawyer's Island has a whole big thing.
Yeah, they do.
It's like natural over there. It's nuts.
Yeah, it is.
Good luck, SmackDown Outdoors. That medal is sweet. I saw
that is a really cool medal. I have to admit, I'm not even running, and that's a cool medal. So.
I'd like to make it into a necklace and just be like Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav.
Walk around with it like a clock.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, I'm just 100 man.
I like this idea. I think there should be more people wearing things as clocks.
Exactly. Me too. I mean, they did it at, Margaritaville. We had those.
Yes.
Clock necklace.
That's gonna be heavy though.
Alcohol.
After a couple hours.
I know, but it was awesome that it had a drink in it.
It did.
Mine didn't have a drink in it long.
That's true.
All of a sudden, I was seeing 70s bass players in the pool.
Yeah, and that's because there were 70s bass players in the pool with us.
Well, yeah, and the other thing is too that they got refilled.
They did.
That's true.
And you know what? When we moved, it disappeared. I think Pam threw it away.
Oh,
in the background at the old house, and I haven't seen it since we moved to St. Charles.
So when ours, so first of all, ours all didn't come home, and then secondly, when it did come home, I tried to put it through the dishwasher because I was like, "This is gross." And
that didn't work.
I know, but I kept the gross on because that was part of the experience. Because part of the experience was pretty gross. I mean, if you think about some of the things people did, it was pretty gross the whole day, but it was good. Dude. I just remember the picture of Hannah taking a little nap.
Hannah and Paige
Yeah.
next to each other.
There's the picture of Steve and was it Brian?
Yeah,
peeing in the bushes. They weren't actually peeing in the bushes.
They were not.
No. Was it Brian in that picture?
Yeah.
I just remember the cruise director coming by and saying, "Please do not miss getting back on the ship."
Well, because he was at Margaritaville with us.
I know. Yeah. It was a hop, skip, and a jump. Like you could have literally probably jumped out of because we had an aft balcony.
Yeah.
You could have probably jumped out of my balcony if you got a run at it and landed in the pool. If you'd had a good run at it,
I think you would have needed a trampoline.
Maybe a trampoline. Yeah, it'd been like a cartoon for sure. I mean, it'd been like a Wile E. Coyote kind of move, but it would have been funny.
You would have probably hurt yourself. You would have been,
definitely. I mean, you would die. I mean, because
I was gonna say you would die when you hit the bottom of the pool. But
I think it was deck 9, but we were right back into that pool. I mean, Margaritaville is a great place. That was a good day. That was a great day.
We had a good time, I will say. Really definitely.
Day. Wasting away again in Margaritaville. Okay, we got a podcast to do. Okay, here we go. And hello to Brooke and Smackdown Outdoors. Okay, so we're at 2275. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
227.
Do not disturb me, iPhone. Ooh, a cruise question. My favorite deck to book a cruise on is Margaritaville in Falmouth. Some people got blenders too instead of.
That's true. They did get blenders.
Why? What was the difference between the blender and the clock? I can't remember that. We got to do the show, but I just thought of that because
I got a blender.
What was the difference?
I don't know.
It's just decorative because
maybe was yours a frozen margarita like or was it?
No, because it was hot.
I wonder if like the frozen drinks came in the blender and the liquid drinks came in the clock. A little bit easier to drink out of. I don't know. I
wonder what the thing is.
I got to pull out that picture. That was an epic picture of us in the pool.
Was
Scotty G and the Griffiths and
it was a lot of fun.
Like Yerkes, wasn't Yerkes in there?
I don't know.
And the Earps. There were a lot.
Yeah, there were a lot of people.
The Shine Golds.
I don't know if all those. I don't know if all of us were in there. I know there was a lot of us.
I know in that pool that day. That day was awesome.
It was.
The bass player for REO Speedwagon.
That's the one.
Brandon. Okay, here we go. Let's podcast. Here we go. Everybody quiet on the set. Welcome to episode 2275 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a great week. And thank you so much, as always, for joining us here on the show. It is Wednesday, so it is time for your listener questions. And I love these shows because we get to go kind of all around the Disney universe. We'll talk a little Disney Cruise Line today, some Walt Disney World. Maybe even head out to Disneyland and see if Murphy has cooled off a little bit there from Fantasmic. And we'll see when Fantasmic may open back up. But I've heard maybe later this week. I mean, obviously without the dragon, but, it's a great show. You got to kind of wrap up a Disneyland night with Fantasmic if you can. Just my opinion there. But let's get to the questions and talk some Disney. So joining us today from the mouseforless.com down in Atlanta, Georgia, actually a suburb. I think it's not Buford. Sometimes
close enough. Yeah.
In that area, but
yes,
I like that you have a street in your name because we use Find My to see when you're home. But I like that you have a street near you called like Riley Runs or something because that's.
Oh yeah, that's true. There is one. Yeah.
Sweet. I know you're close to home when Riley runs.
Got it.
Ricky, happy Wednesday. What's going on?
Happy Wednesday. Yeah. Just hanging out and. Living life with Miss Lucy here, so we're having a good time.
There you go. And Lucy says hello, so hello, Lucy.
She does say hello.
Okay. You got to submit your question in email form there, Lucy.
She was trying to get in there. I mean, she's got some grunts. Although she is saying words, and I use that loosely. But
come on now.
The word. Well, I think you'd appreciate.
Okay,
I think you'd appreciate the word she started saying though, and it's UGA. Which is UGA. I it makes Brian happy. So
that dog is ugly. Anyway, at least she's an SEC fan. That's something.
Yeah, there you go. So you got that. So Ugga is her word. So
nice. All right. Also joining us, we have the coder of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Pam, how are things going on this wonderful Wednesday?
They are going. I'm thinking about summer vacation plans because this weather, I think, is the worst. Like when you get a couple of good spring days and then they're followed by a couple of bad spring days. Like today here in the Berg, we had snow. So, that's hard to take after 80. Yeah.
No, thank you.
I know, right? I don't know if it was snow, sleet, or hail. Like, I don't know. Whatever it was like tiny and it wasn't good. So anyway.
The meteorologists have made up a term called grapple, I've heard. Like always this thing called grapple.
And what is that?
I don't know. It's like
is it that though?
Kind of hail stuff? I don't. It's kind of I don't know. Like seriously, that's when I know I'm getting old because the same stuff that used to be just like snow or hail, now it's a whole new thing. And I'm like, no, that existed in the 80s, but it wasn't called that anyway. And I'm glad it's snowing out your way because somebody's got to cool off the Pittsburgh Pirates before they eliminate my.
How crazy is this?
Gosh, dude, what? It's like Pujols last year for the Cardinals. He came back and was like in, like the Fountain of Youth, and I think Kutch has found it there in Pittsburgh.
Maybe he's drinking from the Yakagani or the Mahanga.
Whatever he's doing, he needs to keep working it up, man, because he is hotter than a firecracker.
Too crazy.
You should have said hotter than Murphy. See, there you go.
Than Murphy, yes.
Yeah, there you
go. Because we were using this like crazy during the live show.
There you go.
Anyway, yes, that was a good call there. Okay, so let's get to the questions. That's why you're here, and we're going to go to the inbox up to Naperville, Illinois, because I've been surrounded by cheerleading all weekend, all this early in this week, even with the Worlds down at Walt Disney World. Naperville, a hotbed of cheer. One of the best cheerleading teams in the country comes out of Naperville. I wonder if Chrissy knows that. Maybe she's a cheer parent. I don't know. But she says, Mike and BOGP crew, I didn't have a question today, but I want to give you a heads up about a possible alternative place to stay before your podcast cruise. Last summer, my family of 5 took our first ever cruise on the Disney Fantasy. We're so excited we were so excited to go since we were originally supposed to sail in July of 2020. We stayed at the Courtyard by Marriott in Titusville. Here's why we stayed and why you might want to check it out. It looks over the Kennedy Space Center and it is all space themed. It has an outdoor lounge on the top floor called the Space Bar. That's pretty cool. That's actually what they could have called Oga's Canteen, I thought. Didn't they like have a temporary thing in the studios called Space Bar or something like that? I'm pretty sure they did. Like there was something that was temporary at one point.
I don't remember.
I don't remember it either.
Maybe it was just like a meme.
I did. Maybe. I mean, I did like a temporary thing that they had like for the last Star Wars weekends where they had a lounge, but it wasn't called the Space Bar. So
I thought it was called
I don't know what that is. No.
Anyway, if you want the Space Bar, you got over Titusville. Anyway, she continues. It looks over all the launch pads around the Kennedy Space Center. Let's see here. It's designed for people to watch launches. Each guest room has Hubble space pictures as wallpaper, plus a ton of other space themed touches throughout. I chose to stay there the night before our cruise because my oldest son had just graduated high school and plans to work in the space industry after college. Our family was so surprised by how nice it was, and I was able to geek out on all things space. We were kind of sad to leave, but then our amazing 7-night cruise. Okay. So it was about 20 to 30 minutes from Port Canaveral. Anyway, I've been listening to the podcast for years and wanted to know how much you also enjoy space and NASA. So I thought I'd put it out there. Thanks for all you do, Chrissy up in Naperville. So I've done the same thing as Chrissy. Like a couple podcast cruises ago, I'm a huge space nut. I love Cocoa Beach. I like going, and I'm not a surfer. Dude, I'm from Missouri, but I like going to the Cocoa Beach surf shop. I love going to Ron John's. Cocoa Beach is okay. Like it's not a beautiful beach, but it's a fun beach. I just like going out there, dipping my toes in the water and looking over to the vehicle assembly building. You'll see that from Port Canaveral when you're on your ship. That's one of the coolest things. When you go in and out, you can see the VAB, where they stack the old Saturn V's. The space shuttles were in there. Now SpaceX uses it. But I will say I did research and I stayed at a hotel. I've stayed at 2 hotels over off I think it's A1A. The road there goes through Titusville. And I stayed in one that the original Mercury astronauts owned back in the day. Okay, so they all owned it. And there's just it's not real space themed, but there are a couple of plaques there that say like John Glenn, Carpenter, I'm trying to think who else, like Shira, I think owned part of it. There were like 4 or 5 of them that went in together and they owned this hotel. And actually Henry Landworth from Give Kids a World worked there. So a huge touch there. So I stayed at that hotel one time. And then one time I stayed in this really shady motel one night. My wife was not happy about it. It was called the Lunacy. Lunacy, get it? But it was LUNASEA, like the moon. And it looked really kind of historic and retro, but it was just kind of dumpy. But we did that too. Biggest tip, if you're ever in Titusville, besides going to see the space stuff, which is amazing, you got to eat at a place called Dixie Crossroads. It's an awesome restaurant. They're known for rock shrimp. It's in Titusville. It is always busy. It is gigantic, but it has great seafood. Rock shrimp, Dixie Crossroads, Titusville, Florida. You will thank me. Go over there. Okay. Got a question. You guys ever spent time in Cocoa Beach or Titusville or anything like that?
Not a lot. No. I mean, just prior, like a night before a cruise or something like that, and didn't really have the opportunity to explore. So
yeah, I've been there a lot.
I think there's
live there.
I think there's a place. If it's not in, I don't remember if it's in Cocoa Beach, but it might be. I know I've been there. It's called Ricky Tikki Tavern. Obviously I've been there with my name, and it's spelled exactly like my name is. So I think that's in Cocoa Beach. My mom took me there because she was like, "Oh my God, we have to go." So yeah, I've been there before.
Ricky Tikki Tavern, and of course, before the night before a cruise, it's always fun to go to like Fish Lips and watch the ships come in and out. Wave to everybody on the Port Canaveral webcam. There's also a second place. Oh, gosh. Fish Lips is kind of the famous one, but I've gone to the other place. There's like 2. Can't remember the name of the other place right now, but you can look it up. Okay, Beth's got a question here. Hey guys, I have a cruise question for y'all. What is your favorite deck to book your room on and why? I don't have a favorite deck. I'll just look around. I tend to like the aft facing cabins. I don't have one for the podcast cruise. I have a aft cabin, but it's not aft facing this time. But I'm fine anywhere on the ship. Really, I kind of, I'm platinum and I've stayed everywhere. I've stayed in inside cabins. I've stayed ocean view. I've stayed, I typically stay veranda now, but I don't have a typical deck. I do like to stay aft if I can though, because most of the adult areas are either like the adult areas are in the bottom of the aft and the buffet is in the top of the aft. So that serves my purposes. That's usually where I'm at the end of the night. And at the beginning of the night, I go up to the buffet and have breakfast. So I like aft. It's a little bit louder back there because like when you're coming in and out of port, sometimes, you hear the chains and the engine. But I mean, I'm up, I get up early. Pam, what about you? You've sailed many times.
Yeah, I don't really have a favorite deck either. Isn't that funny? I know that a lot of people wonder about that. I am looking more at sort of, where the category is that I want to stay, what's available, and that. So I don't really have a favorite deck either. I try not to be right above the theater if I can help it. Maybe that's sometimes a consideration, but other than that, I'm not picky at all. Put me on a ship and I'm a happy girl. The veranda is a non-negotiable for me though. I have to be able to have the veranda. And luckily Steve feels the same way. There's something about it. I know that you can always go up on deck to see the ocean, but there's something about being able to see it from your stateroom, I think, that's really kind of special and offers that. But decks, I'm good with any.
Here's the thing with Disney Cruise Line and verandas. Most of your cost is going to be getting on the ship. To upgrade from an inside or an ocean view to a veranda is not that big of a percentage jump in your overall cost of your sailing.
Right.
So that's something to think about. Now, would I do an inside or nothing? Absolutely. I would. Yeah. I would. I mean, if it was that or nothing, I was talking with Julie. I was talking with a listener of the show, and she's going to take her kids. It's her and 3 kids. And she's like, could I do, it's a 5-night out of Miami on the Magic, I think. She's like, could I survive in a inside? I'm like, absolutely. You could totally do it. Like, because we had 12 days worth of cruise luggage 4 of us on that one podcast cruise. Remember, we did 5 nights on the Dream and 7 on Freedom of the Seas, and we went to Walt Disney World for a week. So we had 4 of us luggage for over 2 weeks, and we still did an 11C. I mean, it wasn't the most beautiful thing in the world because I was in there with 3 girls, like trying to get. I had to get ready, like in public restrooms. I was like, it was like a Love Boat episode. I remember there was a Love Boat episode where the guy kept getting ready because like they couldn't got kicked out because like he was, there wasn't supposed to be hanky panky going on. It was like his receptionist or something.
Hanky panky.
Dude,
that's a good term.
It was my phone. I was like, I was getting thrown out because I didn't have a split bathroom. I was like, dude, I should have got the split.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have got the 11C. I shouldn't have saved the $42, Mike. But anyway, yeah, you can. And I did. But yeah, if I had my druthers, you're not paying much more to have that upgraded. And it is a very nice, very, very nice upgrade to a veranda. Ricky, did you ever have a preferred deck or area of a ship?
No, my favorite place on a ship is on a ship. I don't care. I mean, that's my favorite place. Yeah. I've done veranda. I think for the cruise that Brian and I have in August, I think I'm in an inside stateroom and I really don't care. Like, I'm just like, let's go. We're just going. So yeah, I'm anywhere on a ship is good for me. So yeah.
Amen. Preach it. All right. Guess what? Boo.
Boo.
To you and you.
Oh.
Okay. Next question. Urgent.
Yes.
Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. It's that time of year again. It's April.
Yes.
It's Halloween. Okay. So, hey, Mike, Scott, Ricky, Pam, I have a conundrum for my October Walt Disney World trip, and conundrum was spelled correctly, by the way. The Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party crosses 4 of the 5 days I'm in the parks. I have park hopper tickets and I'm staying at Coronado Springs. Can you please help me sort this out? Are crowds higher in the Magic Kingdom the day of the party? And should I change my reservation to the one day the party is not scheduled during my trip? Or should I hop out before the Halloween party starts? Okay, let's stop there. Pam, what do you think about that?
I think that's the correct answer. I do not find that during the day of a Halloween party that the Magic Kingdom is typically more crowded. Mm-mm. The reason is that most people are like, well, the Magic Kingdom's closing early, so I'm not going to go to the Magic Kingdom that day. Especially those who have park hopper tickets are not going to choose the Magic Kingdom as their choice. Toward the evening now, when guests can enter the Magic Kingdom with their ticket, it can start to get busier. So that's probably the time that you want to hop out. So what I would do is I would keep my days as they are. Even if the Magic Kingdom is closing early, I would be there. I would also, though, on the day that you have that you don't have the Magic Kingdom reservation and the day that the park is open for normal hours, I would hop to the Magic Kingdom in the evening so that you can experience the park that night. And this, my friends, is reason number 8,332 why you need a park hopper.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
It adds so much more value and flexibility to your trip. It just does. I realize it is an additional expense. I feel like you get the value of that one option back in 5-fold. I really, truly do. So,
all right. So she continues though. So we're going to add a little
more
here. So she says, is the party worth it for 2 adults? Let's go in for Ricky. If so, should we go to another park first and then hop to the Magic Kingdom for the event? How late in the night do the events usually go? I don't see any times posted yet. The event is supposed to open to select Walt Disney World guests earlier than the general public. I'm guessing I don't qualify for this early booking time. What time does the booking usually open? Thanks so much for helping us all plan and dream. Caitlin's up in Washington State. So, Ricky, what are your thoughts for 2 adults going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and booking the tickets, which open up for Walt Disney World guests this tomorrow as this comes out?
Heck yes, go as adults. It is so much fun. I mean, I've gone so many times, just me and Brian, and we have just the best time, whether it's catching the parade or the fireworks or, yes, trick-or-treating or dressing up or riding the rides that have special overlays or meeting the characters or the cadaver dance. I mean, there's so much fun stuff that happens at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I prefer it so much more than the Christmas party, which I know not a lot of people agree with me on, but for me,
you're a mean one, Mrs. Grinch.
I know. I prefer the Halloween party much more. And as far as tickets, they go on sale tomorrow for select Walt Disney World resorts. Now, by select Walt Disney World resorts, it pretty much means all Walt Disney World resorts, as well as the Swan, the Dolphin, and Shades of Green. And then tickets go on sale to the general public starting on May 2nd. Now, usually, I mean, in the past, there hasn't been a problem with dates selling out, because they've done the select Walt Disney World ticket pre-sale a couple years, for a couple years now, and they haven't sold out. So for the date like Halloween hasn't sold out, for those dates. But I mean, I guess they always could. But if you are staying off site, and or you're like me who go down and stay with relatives or whatever, you should be able to, even for the Halloween date, you should be able to buy them on May 2nd. Now if you are looking for Halloween, that date does usually sell out the fastest, and usually the first Halloween party,
and I call it influencer night, August 11th.
Yeah, exactly. The first Halloween party is influencer night, 100%.
You must show proof of a fancy camera to
exactly, and that's why that one sells out. So those are the only two that I would worry about right now. And other than that, I mean, you should be fine as far as getting tickets. So yeah, but influencer night is definitely like,
yes, and one of those microphones that has like the fuzzy thing. It kind of
I don't
like a
have that.
I don't.
I'm such a terrible influencer, and I use influencer in quotes because I don't consider myself one. But I just have my iPhone and literally just go around that like that. Like I'm like, okay, cool. I don't like to be the most out there showy person, like, ooh, I'm filming this for whatever, blah blah blah. No, like, just give me my iPhone. I don't need the big fuzzy thing. We're good.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, I wish I was an influencer because I can't even influence my family. Like,
right?
Dinner. Like, I just want to influence them to go to LS Teca, and it
no. You just want to influence them to go to Taco Bell. Don't lie. Don't lie.
They're not going to Taco Bell. I just that's a soul. We talk about solo trips. That's my solo.
That's
trip.
A solo trip. Okay, got it.
LS Teca, the fancy sit-down Mexican restaurant, like I try to get them to go, and I can't influence my family to do that. Now, I will say the one thing in my life I ever want to say, like if I ever want to claim that I'm an influencer, I have influenced a couple of people to go try that buffalo chicken sandwich over at ABC Commissary. A lot of people have come over to that sandwich.
They've come over to the.
I feel good about that. I feel like
feel good about it.
Like on my gravestone, that has to at least be like small print. Like this man sold 57 bonus grilled
chicken
cheese buffalo chicken sandwiches at ABC Commissary in his life.
Yes,
got it.
He liked it so much.
Convince many a guest to experience
enjoy the buffalo chicken.
The buffalo chicken.
The Haunted Mansion with a little, grilled cheese emoji or something. I don't know. I'm too old for emojis. Okay, good question from Andrew, our good friend here. What do you think about Disney making Fort Wilderness DVC and getting rid of? We've seen the new renderings, right? We've seen them, and they're kind of mid-century cavity. I'm old school. I think they should look like Abe Lincoln's cabins. It's Fort Wilderness. I think
it was such a nice choice for guests to be able to have. I'm sort of sad that those accommodations for that price point that could accommodate that number of guests will be gone, because we know they will not be the same price point.
Oh gosh, no.
They're there.
No. So a great option for that bigger family.
And they were.
I'll be honest. I have families of I have couples that'll stay in a cabin just because they like the vibe. Two people. Yeah.
They want the vibe. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. What do you think, Ricky? It's the way of the world. Let's just face it. But God, man, it's like Fort Wilderness is like its own beast. It's like this. It just seems like that kind of. I thought they'd be kind of hands off, but I guess nothing is.
Look, here's the deal. They had that space open for DVC that they took out River Country for, which, granted, River Country had been closed for all that time, but that was the space that DVC was going into. And I feel like I know why they did it, to save money, obviously. But they had already had the plan. Go back to the plan you originally had. I feel like that's because like you said, there's a specific set of people who like to stay in the cabins. And, I don't know. I feel like they need something, let them stay in the cabins and then have the DVC resort which you're going to have a lot, you know,
I wish it was in addition, you know,
in addition. Like, yeah. There's no reason why we can't do in addition except for money. And that's sadly probably the reason why they decided to, you know, just take what they had at Fort Wilderness instead of build like they were planning on doing, which I know the plan wasn't the most Fort Wilderness-y looking to begin with originally for the original plan, but still it would have been a better option, I feel like, overall. So that's my piece on that.
Yeah, I mean, it is what I mean, I'm totally, you know, I sit on this panel and I always say, I understand Disney is a for-profit company, and I have no problem with a company making a profit. That's what they do. Every company tries to do that. That's how our country works. You know, we're a capitalist society. But I mean, you know, I wish you could hang on to those accommodations though, in addition to thing, you know, because what it does, it gives more options. You know, if people want to wagons at a lower price point, great. If people want to have these more mid-century, people call them kind of mid-century, like looking. I'm not an artist or, you know, an architect or anything, but that's what I've heard on social media, you know, with all those windows and the different colors and stuff. I mean, they're different. I mean, people are loving them. You know, I've heard a lot of people give a lot of positive feedback. It's just not my vibe. Like if I'm going to camp, and I still can't get my wife to stay in one. I've wanted to stay in one for years, but she says,
now you're not going to get to.
Oh, no.
I mean, you're running out of time.
You're running out of time.
No, wrong. I've stayed in many a DVC resort. You know, you still can. You got to remember that's a misnomer. I want to put that out there because I book guests all the time.
That's not it. I'm just like the price point, though, is going to be.
Right. Oh, yeah, 100%. Pam's correct. The price point is going to just skyrocket.
Sometimes they discount those things. I mean, you know, because I've stayed in a deluxe studio over at Old Key West at a decent rate.
We book tons of guests at deluxe villa resorts. That's not the issue. The issue is that compared to it was really the lowest price that you could get and get a full kitchen.
Wasn't it a moderate, right? I mean,
they said it was moderate.
I know they said it was moderate
pricing, but that was sort of the category that they were looking at. So it will be interesting to see what happens after they're done here.
One other thing, if you watch the Disney marketing, watch the commercials. Okay, because I've been watching these commercials lately on TV. Mm-hmm. They're using different terminology for how they're sorting hotels. Just watch. They're calling it the Disney Resorts Collection.
Yes. They've been doing that for a little bit. Yeah, I've seen it called the Collection. I don't know. Ooh, are we getting fancy here?
It's a really good one right now. Like it features the Polynesian. It features the Polynesian. Like
I've seen that one.
Kind of like the Moana route or the
Moana wallpaper sort of.
Exactly. And it features the Magic Kingdom and you know, around the Polynesian. It's a great commercial.
It's a great commercial, and then they have Hey fall off
hard. I might have to stay there post cruise.
That's one of my favorite renovations. That and the Grand Floridian.
Because you guys, I think, are all at the Grand.
But I'm at the Grand before. Yes.
But I think I'm not telling the girls, but I think I might stay there. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be a good place to have a pool.
Yeah. It would be.
I mean, because you know we're not gonna be there that long because you know cheer and basketball, like not sports. Just I mean, I love sports, but it's cutting into my Disney.
It has two good pools, and one is superior.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And if you get bingo, you got to do a belly flop. So
got to do belly flop.
That's true.
Not bingo, Yahtzee.
Yahtzee.
Question about strollers. Back on topic here. Hey, everyone. This one's coming from Savannah, Georgia, down to your neck of the woods. From Kirsten here. Hey, everyone. I found this podcast 3 months ago and can't get enough.
Yay!
Like buffalo chicken grilled cheese over at ABC Commissary. See, I'm hoping y'all can, and you can tell from Georgia, I'm hoping y'all can help with a stroller strategy question. My family and I will be at Disney World for 8 days at the end of May. My youngest is 4 and doesn't like strollers at all. We would never consider not taking a stroller because we know he will eventually need a break. However, we don't want to push an empty stroller around for the majority of the day. We're thinking about parking the stroller in one of the stroller parking areas that is centrally located and picking it up as needed. Do you think we'd have any issues doing this? If you have any other ideas, please let me know. Thanks so much, Kristen. This is the exact answer. We did this when Mallory got older. You take your stroller. We just parked it at the park entrance. Like when in the Magic Kingdom, we parked it over to the right there by where Mickey meets and greets at the what's that, Town Square Theater kind of?
Yeah, Town Square. Yeah.
There's like a little parking spot for strollers. We just put it there. And I mean, I guess you could park it like, back by the Tangled toilets. You can put it wherever you want, But we just put it there and just hope we didn't need it. But by God, if you needed it, it was a lifesaver. Just when she got crabby, I'd just be like, look, hang on to her. I'm going to get in the stroller, putting her in it. She can go to sleep. And it was like, Pam, that's the strategy. That it's better to have it and not need it. But if you need it, oh, it's godsend.
It's 100% true. You don't want to need a stroller and not have it. And the other thing is, if you're renting them there at the parks, you can probably rent one for almost your whole trip for what you're going to spend on a couple of days stroller rental at the park. So just keep that in mind, or bring one of those little umbrella strollers with you. But yeah, for sure, it's a challenge. You'll think to yourself, we don't need the stroller. We're just going to be in there for a couple hours, blah, blah, blah. Then you walk in, you don't have the stroller. You get my feet hurt. I'm tired. Right? Like on a day.
Like, so do mine. Suck it up.
Yeah, my feet hurt too. Yeah.
The whole thing. And you're like, oh my gosh, why did I not bring that stroller? And at that point, you'll do whatever it takes. You're like, sure, we'll rent the stroller.
I will buy a stroller. It's fine. Whatever.
Yes. 100%.
Disney's like, it's surge pricing. The stroller costs $90.
Right. You're like, it's a deal.
I'll give you $100. I don't care. Yeah, exactly. I'll buy it.
You would get into a bidding war with another family if that were the last stroller available.
You would too. You would. I do want to note, because it is starting to be summer season and a lot of people are starting to travel, and I'm seeing this question a lot online lately. So I just want to put it out there, especially having Lucy and knowing how popular these are. The wagon strollers are not allowed in Walt Disney World or Disneyland unless there is a medical reason. So I know people are like, I've seen them in the parks. There's a medical reason that child or that family has that stroller. You cannot bring the wagon strollers in the parks. Just don't do it. Don't do it. So
that was like a thing like 3 or 4 years ago.
No, it's still a thing. People are losing their minds. I've seen so many questions in so many Facebook groups. Can I bring the wagon stroller? I see the wagon stroller in the parks. Can I bring? No, you can't bring the wagon stroller. Don't do it.
We're a thing of the past.
Nope.
I will say one tip though from an actual parent. Again, the umbrella stroller we had that worked perfectly. We spent so much on that stroller. I'm still having palpitations from buying that stroller. And Mallory is 15. She's learning to drive a car.
Yep.
It costs over $200 for an umbrella stroller. I just remember we were at Babies R Us or at the Mills, which the Mills doesn't even exist anymore. That's how old this place is. But everybody online said, you got to get the stroller. It's worth it. And I'm like, oh my God. And this one I was still teaching. I made nothing back then. Either did my wife. It was a major purchase, but it lasted forever. And we gave it to another family and they're still using it.
That's
one thing we think about get the like rain cover.
Yes.
It was like a little plastic rain cover that you had to buy it for this individual stroller because there's like a hinge, like a kind of nuts on the outside of the stroller. And so like holes in a little piece of plastic. So it like attached to the outside super tightly. Didn't suffocate the kid. I mean, the kid could breathe. But like she could be in there and it could be pouring. Now I was getting soaked. I'm getting drowned in July.
But she's fine.
Dude, she's happy as a lark in there. It's like do in there. And like also, if it even looks kind of like rain and you're going like into a like in a haunted mansion,
put it on there.
Dude, cover it up because what'll happen is you'll come out, it'll be pouring. She'll have a dry stroller, and just again, poor parents. You have sore feet, bad back, and you're gonna get drowned, but the kid's gonna be dry. So
let's be honest. You may want to put that poncho thing on the stroller before you go into any attraction, just because you never know when that rainstorm is going to pop up, and because it will inevitably just pour on your stroller and that's it. And then you're like, why is my stroller all wet? It looks like sun out here. So just pop that sucker on the stroller. That's what I'm going to do with Lucy. I'm just going to pop it on the stroller as soon as I go inside a building.
If it rains in one corner of Walt Disney World, it doesn't necessarily rain in all the corners, but it will always rain where you are.
Correct. Yes.
And Allison said the same thing. And there's one other kind of urban myth that keep your stroller from getting taken by everybody else. You heard this one? You take like a grocery bag and you tie it to the handle and you put something brown in it. It doesn't have to be the real thing, but you can make it less desirable for the thief.
This is true. Yeah,
I've heard people do that.
I have too. I mean,
I took my chances. I was not going that far, but
that's true.
Now you've got the pro level tip. Yes. All right, back to the question. Steve's got a question. Hey, Mike and crew, I love the show. Thanks for doing what you do here. My family and I have been going to Disney World every 3 years. We've been 4 times and just love it so much. We hope to be making our first ever trip to Disneyland this summer. I know you just went, Mike, and I'm sure you and the crew will have good advice on tips for Disney World vets going to Disneyland for the first time. We have heard that it is worth getting Genie Plus, which we did the last time we went to Disney World and didn't regret it, but I know there's some differences. Any suggestions on what attractions to book first at Disneyland? I'm not sure what high priority rides are at Disneyland. We will not be staying on property, so we will be losing the 30 minutes at the beginning of the day. Is it worth paying the cost for individual lightning lanes for any of the attractions? If you get the park hopper, can you get the individual lightning lane for both parks? Do you have any general touring strategies? Do you think 2 days is enough to see the majority of both parks with a hopper, or should we add a third day? I know this is a lot, and I'm not even sure the right questions to ask, but any advice you would have would be greatly appreciated. We just know Disney World so well and feel a bit out of our comfort zone going to a similar but very different experience. Thanks. Steve is up in the Hudson Valley, New York. First of all, Disneyland is easier. It is just like I've been there twice now. And both times I've just felt everything out there just seems to be easier because you're not walking as much. Everything's closer, the proximity. And I'm telling you what, I will tell this and I will say this, I'm blue in the face. If you have your tickets and you do take the splurge of getting the park hopper and Genie Plus, you are so golden. You are so golden. I've had both on both trips. And I will just say, I haven't even started booking Genie Plus because the difference is at Disneyland, you could book Genie Plus as soon as you enter the park, not like at 7 a.m. So when you enter the park, that's when it kind of activates. I don't even start booking Genie Plus like until maybe 2 hours into the day because everything has such a short wait. Because I always go to Disneyland first for the most part. And I can get so much done in Fantasyland. Like I'm just going ride and going around and doing stuff. And then I'll start because the times, will be immediately. And there's no wait anyway. So why book a lightning lane if you could just walk on all these rides for the first hour, 90 minutes or so? And then I'll monitor it and then I'll start booking them. I don't know. So let me ask you, Pam, what are your thoughts on somebody going from Disneyland or Walt Disney World to Disneyland, trying to think about Genie Plus, individual lightning lanes, hopping and stuff like that?
I know it's a lot to wrap your brain around. And you're right. You probably don't know the questions that you want to ask. You don't know what you don't know. I always say, if you can do at least 3 nights, I would do it because of the nighttime show situation. Because there's Fantasmic, and then there's the fireworks in Disneyland. Then there's World of Color out there in California Adventure. So it's like you kind of want to see them all, and it's really challenging sometimes to even see Fantasmic and the fireworks to get a good spot for both in one night, let alone throw in World of Color and all those things. So the 3 nights gives you a little bit of room for error and a little bit of room to accommodate the fact that they may all not be playing on the same night. The other thing is there's a really great tour out at Disneyland Walt's Main Street, something like that. I believe it's called Walt's Main Street. Don't quote me on that, but you'll see what it is. And you actually get to go in Walt's apartment. So that's a really cool tour that you may want to do. I've had the opportunity to do that a few times, and it just feels, I get goosebumps every time I'm in there, just to think that you're in a spot where Walt was. As far as Genie Plus goes, if you're in there first thing in the morning, you're going to be able to accomplish a lot of the attractions that don't have Genie Plus. One of the things I would do first is head to Disneyland and do all of Fantasyland.
It's awesome. First thing in the morning. Walking around, you'll be going from Toad to Snow White. All of a sudden, Captain Hook will be hook you. Or you'll see Alice and the Mad Hatter playing, having tea. And it's insane. It's like you're in the middle of a commercial. Both
it really is.
It's crazy.
I know it is, and you can get so much done there. And you're going to be able to look at the attractions and see, you know, the things that are popular. You just will. It will be, you know, some of the things that are popular in Walt Disney World, if you're more familiar with that park. The other thing is you're going to want to absolutely focus on some of the attractions that they don't have at Walt Disney World, or some of the attractions that are different. The Matterhorn, of course, is something, you know, that was mentioned. The other thing is Pirates of the Caribbean and Haunted Mansion are both a different kind of experience. So you're probably going to want to focus on those. Over at California Adventure, of course, the coaster is a big draw, and that's going to be someplace that you want to use your lightning lane stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of differences. You're going to enjoy it. Being able to walk back and forth through the parks is still my favorite thing to do at Disneyland, and go and enjoy.
Don't get talked into the swinging buckets on the fun wheel.
Oh my, no.
Yes, do the swinging buckets. They're so fun and terrifying.
Liar. People will tell you that, and then you'll be, and I didn't do it. I haven't even been on the fun wheel yet.
Oh, I've done it.
Non-swingy ones. I just haven't done it yet. But no, because I've heard horror stories. No, and people that have iron stomach will come off that thing.
No, 100%. They have the little bags there for a reason.
I don't need all that in my life. Like, it looks like, you know, it's Mickey Mouse on this big Ferris wheel. No, that thing's a torture machine. Nope. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm just saying. Also, I would say, he asked about individual lightning lanes. Here's how, and I bought one. Okay. I did. I bought one for Radiator Springs Racers. Yes. And I just made a financial decision. It was $18. And it was one of those things, like, the wait time was going to be about 180 minutes, I think, or something like that. And it was $18. And I was like, so I just sat there, and again, with one person, it was a lot easier, right? I was like, will I pay $18 to save
180 minutes?
You know, because it could have been, I was a single rider, so maybe it was only going to be 2 hours. I don't know, but it could have been 3. So I'm just like, is it worth $18 right now when I'm at Disneyland? Like, I mean, this is Disneyland time. This isn't Mike sitting in his office in St. Louis, Missouri time. Like, this is, my time is more valuable than it is, you know, on a Tuesday at 2:00 in the afternoon at home. So I'm like, dude, don't be a tightwad, Mike. You love this ride. Buck up, hit the button.
Pay the money.
Let's go. Let's race. You know, get in Lightning McQueen and let's roll. And I did, and I did not regret it. And then I went out and just kept stuffing my face at the Food and Wine Festival there at California Adventure. So that was good. But I mean, I think that's what you look at individual lightning lanes as. You know, it's an opportunity to save time. And if you just, you know, if they're there, use them. If you need it, if you don't, let them go. You know, just the opportunity there, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of how I see them. Okay. Last question. Oops. Let's see here. We just did that one. And we got one question here, and let's wrap it up with this one. It's from Jim. It says, love the show. My favorite parts are hearing you and your other listeners' history and experiences at Walt Disney World. Because of that, I'm about to give you a semi-brief backstory about my wife and my Walt Disney World history before I get to my actual question. My mom raised my brother and I on her own, and the only real vacation we ever took was when she used her tax return to take us to Walt Disney World in 1996. The next time I went was in 2010 with my wife. My wife's undergrad degree is in dance. She had never been to Walt Disney World before, but on a whim, she tried out for the college program and was accepted as a character actor in 2005. Nice. She got to perform as many characters from Prince John and Friar Tuck to Eeyore and Buzz Lightyear. Her favorites were Mrs. Incredible, which she was the most, and a butterfly in the Main Street Electrical Parade. She is way cooler than me, Jim said. I would imagine if she was a butterfly in the parade, that's pretty sweet. And think about Jim. What a flex. He's married to Mrs.
Right.
Incredible. I mean, that makes him, is he not Mr. Incredible? I mean,
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I say yes. That's what I say. Anyway, since we've gotten together in 2009, we try to get down there every 3 to 5 years. The last time was in 2021. Every time we've been, it's just been us, and we love our adult Disney trips. However, things have changed. We've welcomed our daughter, Mauve, into the world this past September. I apologize if I said it wrong. It's Maeve. Maeve, I guess that'd be. That's a beautiful name. I'm a former teacher, so let me just tell you, that means I have to mispronounce names because that's what I did.
This is true.
At school. Yes. I'm like, I apologize. I'm saying your name wrong. I know, my fault. So here's where I finally start asking my question. We've been planning on going to Walt Disney World during February break of 2024. My wife's a high school counselor, so we're limited to when we can go. At that time, my daughter will be 1.5. After listening to you guys talk about how great Disney cruises are, we've been thinking it might be a better option for our 1.5-year-old. We've also been traveling with my wife. We'll also be traveling with my wife's parents. My question is, traveling during a busy February break with a 1.5-year-old, what's the better choice? Walt Disney World or Disney Cruise Line? So Jim is up in Rochester, New York, and he says, go Bills. So Pam, let's lay it out there. He said, Walt Disney World, Disney Cruise Line with a 1.5-year-old during that kind of, I don't know if it's like President's break. It's probably like one of those busy weeks in February.
Yeah.
So the thing about a Disney Cruise Line vacation is that the ship can only get so full,
True.
Right? No matter whether you're going on Christmas or you're going during a time when it's not as busy, the ships most of the time are going to sail full, period, because that's what they're designed to do. So you're not going to see, in most cases, things get much busier during busy times of the year. So that's a consideration. I will also say that I find a cruise vacation to be much more relaxing than a Walt Disney World vacation. It just is by nature of the vacation. You don't have to run around. You don't have to go to different things. You do what you want. You don't have to run around to feel like you're getting your money's worth on a Disney cruise, right? Because everything's included. The meals are included, the entertainment's included, whatnot. The only thing you're paying for is like when you buy things, or of course alcohol and the gratuities as well. So that's another thing to take into account. So I'm always going to recommend a cruise as a relaxing vacation, especially if you have a little one with you, because there's less for you to do. In addition, Disney has the nursery, which is available if you want to leave the little one there and experience some of the adult only restaurants. So just look into all that. And I think the cruise is the best way to go.
Ricky, you kind of on the same wavelength?
I think I am. I think that the cruise is going to be a great option for the family, especially with a little one. Now, the only thing I will say is that makes me want to suggest maybe doing the Walt Disney World version instead is that it will be her first trip, the little one's first trip, and there's something that's so special about that, even when they're still that young. I mean, I'm itching to take Lucy. I mean, last night my brother was at Fantasmic and he sent me videos from Fantasmic, and I'm showing them to Lucy. She has no idea. She's 2 months old at this point, but I'm showing them to Lucy.
She doesn't understand like the narrative elements yet.
Right. But like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, it's a video and I know I'm showing it to her and I'm sitting there tearing up, crying, going, oh my God, this is my reaction to just showing her a video of Fantasmic. I'm going to be a blubbering mess when I actually take her for the first time. So, there's that whole aspect too. So, they are little only once, and, to take them, as many times as possible in that regard, there's something special about that too. So, I guess it depends on how you want the memories to be. Either if you're going to be going back, you said in 3 years, was it 3 to 5 years, I think, or something like that. So,
2021.
Yeah. So they're going to, your daughter's going to be a little bit older at that point. And so it just, again, the magic will be different. So it just kind of depends on, what you want to do, but you're going to have a great time either way. Yes, the parks will be a little more busy in February, because that is such a kind of a busy time now for Walt Disney World. But, I kind of am leaning more toward the cruise, but man, I'm just doing that video last night. I see the point of taking her so early. So yeah.
There's one thing to think about. She's free at Walt Disney World.
This is true. She is not free on the cruise.
You will pay a fare on the cruise. So there's the practical Mike speaking, but I am leaning towards the cruise because it is easy. There's a capped capacity on that ship. And kind of the thing that's really leaning me over is that your wife's parents are traveling with you, and you're going to get a lot more, I think, maybe quality time together on a cruise. I think the grandparents would get a kick out of the cruise even more than Walt Disney World because of the fact that, like, you're going to be having these it's a slower pace, you know, and you're going to be together more. So they're going to get to spend time with their granddaughter more. And, you know, you're going to go to, you know, dinners. And I mean, you'll be going to dinners at Walt Disney World, but they may be more chaotic because you may be eating at a Columbia Harbor House where you're going to be eating in a fancy restaurant once a night and seeing shows. And, you know, you're going to have those times like on deck 4 on a lounge chair with your, you know, you're going to, I just think there's more time for like family bonding on a cruise where it's slower. You're getting pictures. Pam, I mean, do you think that's kind of a selling point when you have the grandparents? I think that's kind of a selling point for cruise. But
I agree. Like the cruise, I mean, they've always advertised that the cruise has something for everyone, but it really does have something for everyone. That the fact that, you know, what I like most about a cruise is when you're traveling with a group, it's really easy because everyone can kind of do what they want to do, and then we'll meet back at certain times. And I love that about that. It doesn't feel like at a Walt Disney World vacation, it's a little more challenging because if you're one person separating and going here and someone else is going here and then you're meeting here, you really aren't spending the time together. But there's these little activities that happen on the cruise that, let's say, you know, Grandma and Grandpa want to go down on deck 4 and sit there for a while you all are doing like a character interaction, or they want to be there for it so they can be there for it. I just love that kind of feeling and the memories that you make there. And regardless of which you choose, you know, we're going to recommend to get a photo package, but definitely get it, whether you're at World or on the cruise line, because there's lots of great memories made there. And you want to have the option of capturing all of those.
All righty. So go Bills. And Jim, let us know what you pick, but you can't make a bad choice. That's a good thing to remember here. And you're going to make great memories with your new daughter, because it's fun going as a couple, but I mean, I'm so excited because Ricky's getting ready to do this herself. You know, like been there. You know, my kid teaching her to drive, but I still remember taking her when she was 6 months old. Crazy. It was way easier when she was 6 months old than when she was 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got a little independence there. Holy cow. Oh my God. Stop pulling that off the shelf. Stop. I mean, you turn your back for 1 second, that store at Animal Kingdom Lodge. I still remember all those little drums coming down. Like, stop. Like, dude, I'm tired. It's like day 6 of a vacation. Give a dad a break. Anyway, we'll have fun. We got all this to look forward to, Jim. Get ready. Anyway, it's going to do it for today. You got a question, send it to us here at mike@beourguestpodcast.com. Put listener question in the header, and we'll get that here on a future show right away for you. But don't forget, our podcast are always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney vacation and make it the most magical possible for you. That's what we do each and every day. Whether you're headed to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney, just swing by the website, check out all the great photos. There's resort guides, there's trip planning tools. But while you're there, fill out that free, no obligation quote form and put the Be Our Guest podcast in it where it asks, where did you hear about us? In that quote, come to me and we'll work together. And I love working with our listeners. It's so much fun. I love seeing, you know, names that are in the chat sometimes and new friends that listen to the podcast. It's really awesome. But we're going to have a good time planning that next Disney vacation together. So just swing by the website, magicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And a sincere thank you to the patrons of the Be Our Guest Podcast. You make all these shows possible. Couldn't do it without you. And our patrons get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. If you'd like to join us over there, we'd love to have you. Come on over, patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Give Ricky a follow on social media. She's at Ricky Nibs, RIKKINIBS. Pam's at TMFLT Pam, and I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. Look for us on Instagram and Twitter. And of course, this Sunday night, we'll have a live call-in show on Facebook and YouTube. It's called the BOGP Open Line. Join Scotty G and myself. You can be a part of the show. We'll talk Disney, whatever you want to talk about. Give us a call. 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Again, Facebook and YouTube this Sunday night. All right, we're going to get out of here, and we'll be back again on Friday. We're going to break down everything you need to know about the My Disney Experience app. You think you know the app? Maybe you do. You probably know how to use it to kind of get around, but we're going to actually dissect it, you know, just not on the surface level. We're going to talk about some of the things you may not know are hidden in that app that can make your Disney vacation a little bit better. Some tips and tricks to get the most out of that little app that's, I guarantee you, probably sitting on your smart device right now. That now has a new icon, if you didn't notice, because the 50th anniversary kind of thing's over, and it's just now it looks almost like the Disneyland app. So if you have both of them, you don't probably want to have them side by side. There's your first tip. There you go. We're getting you rolling already for Friday here on Wednesday. But until we get back together again, for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Save that bad boy. Save. Episode API. Some more coffee.
I'm making a few changes based on what I had texted y'all.
Oh, I haven't seen anything.
Just on the feed. I had texted you and Ricky something.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Yep.
I need a soda. Hang on. Okay. Sorry.
I love that he has that thing right behind him.
Right? Mike's living his best life.
He totally is.
I'm always living my best life. Dude. And I don't collect popcorn buckets, even though they're surrounding me now, Mr. Toad.
You may not think you don't, but you do.
But you do. I know.
I'm Mike, and I have a popcorn bucket problem.
I have a fair few in my house right now. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. Actually.
And drink sippers. So.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You're not collecting those things, but there they are. They just pop up.
They pop up. Yeah. I am not getting the Pumbaa one though. I will say I don't need a warthog.
I don't either.
I even have a Universal popcorn bucket.
Universal has had some cute ones lately, but the Minion one.
That's what I got. The Minion one.
See, I don't get those. Those things just look like. I've never seen one of those movies, but
the movies are really cute. The first two movies are really sweet.
All they do is go near, don't they?
No, it's totally. It's a really cute, heartwarming.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
Lucy is mad that you've never seen a Minion movie. I'm just saying. Yeah.
You can be mad because I'm never gonna see one.
They're really cute.
I'm sure
they are.
They're very good.
They have good stories.
They do. So
I haven't seen a Disney movie since Stroller.
So I was actually pregnant with Lucy, and me and my parents went and saw the last Minion movie with the one that that was about Gru's like upgrade. How he when he was a kid. Yeah, totally took Lucy to see that movie. I mean, she was not out yet, but
she heard it.
She heard it.
All right, here we go. Oh man, I've had this cold. All right, 2277. Here we go. Oops. 44.1 CD quality. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2277 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rahman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Guess what? We made it to another Friday. Nicely done. We are going to get to the weekend and have a great one, I'm sure. And it's going to be nice today because we're going to kick it off by talking some Disney, and we're going to bring you a practical show. And thank you to everybody who's given us great feedback about the draft shows we've been doing over the past month or so. Those are a lot of fun. We're not going to do one today. We're not going to drive that into the ground, but we will do a couple here and there, and they are a lot of fun. I really do enjoy those. Scott and I talk about those all the time. Ricky, you held your own. You got some W's on social media with your picks.
I did, and a lot of people said I was correct that Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway should count as a slow dark ride, or as a dark ride. Not slow, yeah. As a dark ride, because you got to choose.
Ratatouille. Yeah, the whole thing. So anyway, we are going to do some more of those, but today we're getting practical because we want to make sure that you have awesome vacations. We, sometimes on Mondays we go back and we talk to guests about their memories that they make on their Disney cruises or Disneyland trips, Walt Disney World vacations, even Adventures by Disney. We had Gene the other day. And, but today we're going to get, down and dirty with the My Disney Experience app. We're going to find out what is in that app that maybe you're missing that can help you have a better experience on your next Walt Disney World trip, because there's more to that app than meets the eye. It's not just for mobile ordering corn dog nuggets, even though that is a great use of the app. even better for the buffalo chicken grilled cheese. I mean, that's why the app was made. But we're going to tell you it does actually 7 other things, maybe even more. So get ready, take notes. This will be on the test, because I used to be a teacher and I still have a master's degree in education. So get ready to get schooled. Joining us today, you just heard her a second ago, Ricky is down in Atlanta, Georgia. She hangs out at themouseforless.com. Happy Friday, Ricky. What's up?
Happy Friday. Just enjoying a great weekend here in Atlanta. My brother is actually coming into town so he can meet Lucy. So that is exciting stuff. So we'll have a nice family weekend this weekend. Actually, the next 2 weekends, because my parents are coming into town the following weekend. So yeah, lots of family.
Good stuff. And by the way, I meant to say this because, we're talking about going to school with the My Disney Experience app today. Shout out to all the teachers, because we are getting into state testing area in most parts of the country. I know that we're getting close here in Missouri. Some states have already started. I saw like Tennessee. I listened to a radio show where the Tennessee has started their state assessments. So this is I always say this is the most dangerous time of the year for all of our teachers, no matter what Meghan Trainor says. Forget her. I never listened to one of her songs again, just here nor there. But here's the deal. You are close to summer, but you are in the most critical part of the time, because you're trying to get all these kids to perform on these state assessments, which, by the way, for the most part, they will ask questions that are probably not even in your curriculum that you've taught for the past 6 months. Just hang in there. Do the best you can. We appreciate our teachers. We love you. And it'll be June before you know it, and you'll be on vacation. So just strap in and just go along for the ride. I remember these days, man, they are wild, because you can see the finish line, but it's still like 22 miles away. Like if you're running a marathon, it's a tease. Like it's so close, but our teachers, we love you and we're behind you, and you're going to make it. And we appreciate everything you do each and every day for our kids. So I just wanted to get that in there. So anyway, joining us, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester, whose daughter is out there educating the future generation right now. And we appreciate it very much. So what's up, Pam?
She is. And they're actually in state testing this week. This is the week for it. And they have been preparing for a while in terms of, she does 3rd grade. So trying to tell them that this isn't the end all be all. Nothing's going to happen if they don't do well on their state testing. And they will still go to 4th grade, and you will still go and carry on the rest of your life. It's so funny. When you look at our household, the way that things sort of broke down in our state testing thing, I was just naturally a good test taker, right?
Same.
It just always was. Steve, on the other hand, has dyslexia and was not good at it. Never was. It just is not in his wheelhouse of things that he's really good at. Being really smart has nothing to do with whether you can take a test well. It's just not at all. It's so weird. It is so weird. And a lot of Hannah's kids get some additional support. So I know that's a challenge too. There's really the states limit the kind of supports that you can give children during these testings. So that's completely out of their wheelhouse. And it's so funny. She was saying to me last week, we spend like the whole year teaching these kids that they can always come and ask me if they have a question or a problem or need some assistance, or they can ask their friends, or they can whatever. Right. And then we put them in state testing and say, you can't ask me. I can't tell you, and you can't ask your friends, and you can't ask for help. So it's like, it's crazy. I understand like the thoughts behind it. We have to have some way to measure like a student's progress
and all that. But I was like, sorry, all I can do is repeat the stem of the question. Sorry, they're like, you don't help me. Do you not love me anymore? No, I don't love you for the next 2 weeks. Once we get through this session, I can love you again and care about you again as a student and a teacher. Nope, right now the state says I cannot care and I cannot just too bad.
Cannot help.
It's so heartless. I mean, because the kids are, I taught 6th grade, so the kids are like 11. They just think you turned your back on them.
Right? I know. It's rough. It's rough. Oh, teaching, yes.
It's one of those things. But I mean, it's it's so funny because it's really the hardest time for teachers, but you are close to the end of the road.
It's true.
So it's like the best and the worst time. Because I love the end of the year, because you got that once you got through testing. I got to what I did was, because by then hopefully you've covered most of your curriculum. I would do I would still teach, But that's when I would like build bottle rockets out of, and teach all these cool science lessons about volume. But we would teach it through like 2-liter soda bottles and like, filling 60% of it with water and 40% we pump in with air and see how high we could, hot glue some fins on them with, cardboard. And we'd launch those suckers and they'd end up out in the middle of like this 4-lane road called Newhall's Ferry. And who knows? How many people gave heart attacks? These things come shooting out of the sky.
Or that like damage their car. Yeah.
I don't know. We'd be like, kids, okay, we're going back inside.
Run!
Be like, Bob, grab the missile launcher. Let's all go back inside and we're gonna do silent reading. And if anybody knocks on the door, just pretend like nobody's here. Everybody wanted to be in my class because it was always so exciting.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
If the police come, just deny it. We didn't shoot on bottle rockets today. We have no idea where that 7-Up bottle came from.
That's too
crazy. Anyway, teachers, we love you. But today we're going to school because we're going to talk about the My Disney Experience app, which again, as soon as you book a Disney vacation, Walt Disney World, and Disneyland has their own app. So we're going to talk about Walt Disney World. We're talking about My Disney Experience. It's a free app for iOS and Android devices. And as soon as you book a Disney vacation, you want to download this app to your device because this is going to be kind of your pre-trip, home. And it's really going to take effect once you get to Walt Disney World. And let's face it, you really can't survive your Walt Disney World vacation without this app at this point. You really have to have it because it does a lot of stuff. So Pam, let's talk about the app itself pre-trip. So the first thing you do when you book a vacation, and we tell our guests this at the Magic for Less is, and you can do this also on mydisneyexperience.com. Because I'm getting to be an old dude with bad eyes. I mean, I can't even hardly wear my contacts anymore. That's why I've been wearing glasses since COVID. But the first thing I want to do is want to enter your room reservation and get that linked up to you create a My Disney Experience account. Most of our listeners probably have that, but you want to put your hotel reservation in and get that all linked up so that you're in the system and ready to go. Right, Pam? That's step
100%. That's step one. Make sure you sign up for the experience. We kind of walk you through that. And then you're going to link either your package reservation or your room only reservation and your tickets in there. Or if you're a ticket only guest, then you're going to link your tickets to that to make sure. And that's how you sort of are going to start everything because you need to make park reservations and dining reservations and all of that. So.
And people always ask, like, when should I make my park reservations? Just real quick, because we're going to get into the app itself today.
Yes.
And all this other stuff. But I always say make your park reservations immediately. Just, and like, I don't know what the park hours are going to be because I'm going in 9 months.
Okay.
Just throw them out there, to say like, I want to go to the Magic Kingdom twice. That's my favorite park. I'm going to go to Epcot twice. I love Epcot. The Animal Kingdom, I could take a leave. We'll put a day on Animal Kingdom, and day 3. Just try to come up with a rough copy of your rough draft. Again, teacher, but like a rough draft of your thing. You can always modify it based on availability down the road as you gather more information. You get park hours, as you start making ADRs, and you start, really refining your trip. But it never hurts to make those theme park reservations immediately, so at least you have something there to start with. You have a framework.
100%. Yes.
Okay. So Ricky, okay. So we have that linked up. You have a reservation in. You got theme park reservations. We're still waiting for day 60 for ADRs, but walk us through pre-trip still with the app. What are we looking at? Maybe ADRs. How do you go about that?
Yeah, so the app makes it pretty easy to make your advanced dining reservations, which is what ADRs stand for those who don't know. So basically, all you'll do is you'll go into the app, and there's the bar at the bottom that you can use. That's what I usually use, and there's a circle with a plus sign. I think you can also do the little hamburger thing to make dining reservations too. But I click on the plus.
It's for people that don't know. A hamburger is the 3 lines.
Oh, the 3 lines. Yeah.
You aren't actually looking for like an
actual hamburger. Yeah, that's true. Because we are at dining, so I can see how that would be. Yeah.
I'm being honest because if you're not.
No, you're right. You're right. Exactly. And
3
also.
lines, bottom right.
Yeah, because I know when somebody told me that, it's called the hamburger, and I'm like, what?
It looks like 3 patties is what
it does. It's just yeah. So you click on the thing that says it'll be the first thing usually that pops up, and it says check dining availability, and so you'll go in and you'll select your party size, and then you will select the date that you want to go to whatever restaurant it is. Once you do that, you can either select by 2 different ways. You can search like the time period, so you can do breakfast, brunch, lunch, or dinner, or you can select a specific time. I suggest if you're looking for something like a super hard reservation to get, you definitely want to do this the 60-day mark, because, you know, some of those restaurants, they do go, you know, at that 60-day mark. So, or at, you know, sooner. So just make sure that you check at that 60-day mark. There are the restaurants like Topolino's that are very, very, very difficult to get. So that's going to be one of those. But I also suggest when you're looking for, you know, making reservations, do the breakfast, and then also like if something doesn't pop up that you like, then go for the time. So, you know, me, you know, yeah, exactly.
A specific time. Yes, for sure.
Yes. So like if I select breakfast and, you know, everything pops up early in the morning, which you all know, I'm not doing early in the morning breakfast.
Give you like the least desirable ADR time within the breakfast window, because they want you to book that.
Traditionally, yeah.
If you go, you know, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, they're going to give you the more extremes, I think.
Correct. Now you may get lucky and find one that actually fits in the time window that you're looking for, but
if you like 9 o'clock,
exactly. You're not wrong. So, you know, for me, I'm looking, you know, at a 9:30, 10 o'clock breakfast, you know, so then you click on the time and then it'll pull up all the different restaurant options that are available at that time period. Now, there is a little bit of a window. Even if you select the time one, they usually do like a 2-hour window. So it's usually, I think, 2 hours after when you're looking at dining. The time when that matters is at like that 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock window, because for breakfast, and sometimes, you know, the later time periods for lunch, although not as much, that's not as big of a problem. It's breakfast that's the bigger problem, because of the fact that some restaurants will pull up like, say, an 11:30 or, you know, 12 o'clock option. That's not going to be breakfast. So just keep that in mind. If it pulls one of those up, you might want to look to see like what time the restaurant stops serving that specific meal that you're looking for. So, you know, just kind of play with the app in that regard. You know, like there's a Coral Reef reservation at 11:55 on the day that I'm looking at, and I searched a 10 a.m. breakfast reservation. So, you know, Coral Reef doesn't serve breakfast, and they don't serve it at 11:55. So don't click on that and think, oh, I'm going to get breakfast at Coral Reef. You're not. So you may have to do a little bit of research in that, but yeah. And then you'll go through the prompts to make your reservation, and you'll need to put a credit card number down. So it's just a guarantee. It's for your reservation. You'll only be charged in the event that you don't cancel that reservation. So just keep that in mind.
And now it's 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah,
that's so much better. That gives you way more flexibility.
It does. So I'm glad that Disney made that change. I know a lot of people are upset about the change, but for me, that's a great change. And actually, I am finding that day of, because people are canceling 2 hours in advance now, I'm finding a lot more availability. I know a lot of people were worried, oh, there's going to be less availability, but I'm finding because they were able to cancel 2 hours in advance, availability is definitely increased, and things that were originally hard to get are maybe not so hard to get anymore. So that's a good tip. Yeah.
Okay, so we've kind of gone through that's like kindergarten level. We've gone through the basics. Now I want to tell you some stuff that you need to make sure you're using the My Disney Experience app to do to save you time, and just maybe you're not using this app to the full potential. My biggest thing is now back in the day it was mobile order, like for food, right? And you can still do that. We'll talk about that probably in a minute. I'm telling you, anytime you buy anything in a store that offers this, mobile order checkout. This is the biggest hack ever. This is like when mobile order was in its infancy before COVID. Nobody was using it. You were like, you'd walk up there, get your food while everybody else was in line, like you're some kind of VIP. Mm-hmm. This is what this still is. You can even use this at the expos at Run Disney. So there's a thing again under the plus. If you click that, it says merchandise mobile checkout. And it gives you the options of the stores that have it. And basically what you do is you just pick your thing off the shelf there and use your camera to scan the what's that, the QR code or whatever? No, the QR code.
Just the barcode.
Barcode for it. Yeah.
And it puts it right there, and you complete the transaction right there within the app, because you got your credit card tied to your account here. And it even gives you your discounts, because the thing is in your app, and we'll talk about this in just a minute, there's a when you try to go to your AP discount, like if you're buying something not through mobile checkout, I'll show you how you can prove if you're an AP holder, a Disney Plus subscriber, a Disney Visa, because all this is in there, because if you use the same email address, it's all attached to your account. So anyway, it automatically knows I'm an AP holder, so it gives me my discount. Boom, without even doing anything. It just says 20% off or whatever it is, 10% off. And I just scan, I hit I can Apple Pay it, I can charge it to my room, whatever. And then I just got to take it and show it to the person who's at the little kiosk there within the store that says mobile order checkout. I show it to them, they give me a little clear bag, and I'm out of there. And I skip the line, and I just feel like, oh yeah, shopping way better this way because I did not have to wait in a line. It is the greatest thing ever. If you're going to spend money, you get in and out. And I use this if I want to buy a bottle of Coke Zero.
I know.
I'll go into, Creation Shop, grab me a bottle of Coke Zero, boom, I'm in and out in a minute. And it's awesome. So Pam, do you use this? My thing is I got to remember to use it though, but when I do, it's great.
I do. Yeah. We use that all the time. I mean, I think it makes shopping a lot easier. That little plus button gets used by us a lot.
Yeah.
First of all, to order food, to check for dining availability, and the merchandise and mobile checkout. I mean, I think that those are huge things. Plus, you can also make and modify your park reservations using that plus too. So we use that plus a lot. In addition, you can also get to your Genie tip board using that plus as well. So
I will say though, not every store is on the merchandise mobile checkout. So just keep that in mind. It's usually the bigger stores that are on that. So just kind of know that going into it.
But man, if it's there, it's awesome. So definitely check. Okay, Spam, give us another kind of hidden thing that people might not know you can do with the app.
Well, so I'm going to share the one that I like to share often because every time we're down there, my husband always says to me, how do I look for that again? And I will tell you, when you open your app and you're on the home screen, right next to the home screen is I always call it sort of a geographical locator button, right? I am here. It looks like you dropped a pin there, right? So when you click on that, you can do a bunch of things from this point. So if you click on that, up at the top of your screen, you're actually going to see a button to filter, and you can filter by location. You can filter by Magic Kingdom or Epcot or other different things there. So let's say you're spending the day in the Magic Kingdom, right? You'll go to that location filter and go ahead and filter so that you only see things located in the Magic Kingdom park, and then you hit apply. At that point, you can then go to select a category at the top of the screen, and you can choose to look at wait times. You can choose to look at attractions. You can choose to look and see where you're going to find characters there. You can even choose to see what dining is there, what entertainment is there. And folks, if you have to use a restroom, guess what? You can find it there too. It will show you the location.
Yes.
So it's really easy. You're also going to be able to find PhotoPass photographers and whatnot. And the other really cool thing about this feature is after you've used the filter and when you're using one of those categories, let's say it is dining, in addition to showing you this overview on the map, the view that I like the most is to the right of it. You can say show list. And then it actually shows you the list of those things too. So you can click on, for instance, the dining, and you can see, oh, Casey's Corner, and it tells you you can mobile order there. Not only can you mobile order there, when you click on that particular restaurant, you can view the menu or choose to order now or do all those different things. So that little location button that's down at the bottom is something that gets used a ton at our house. You can even choose the location to be, for instance, your resort. And again, you're going to go to that same location and filter and then click on, apply, and it will show you things only located at your resort. So using that button, you can do things like look at attractions like I said before, but also if you're at your resort, you can again look at the dining that is just specific to your resort. So that's something that we use constantly all the time. And while it's not hidden, it's something that I feel is not super intuitive unless you have done it a couple times. And even if you have done it a couple times, it's like if it's been months since you've been there, you're going to be thinking to yourself, all right, I know I can filter and see only dining locations in the Magic Kingdom, but how do I do that? And then once you do it, you're like, okay, great. I see this great big map and I can like use my fingers and zoom in on it, but I want to see everything. That show list feature or hide list feature, I think is really useful as well.
And you can go by, and so I'll be honest, I've never clicked on. So again, what we're talking about here is when you're on that main screen here, there's the house on the bottom
Yes.
thing with the 5.
Let's break it down for you.
That's not I got to explain to me. So you got the plus button that everybody uses, but it's one to the left of the plus. It's that little pin, the geographical pin there. So click that. And here's the thing I like, because I've never used this. I've always skipped it. I don't know why. But now, like when I was talking about it, I was walking through it with you, and I love it because when you click on, like, say, dining, you can even dine by cuisine. Like, if you got to pick the eater and they want, like, American, like my kids, I could do by nuggets. Here's another thing I was going to talk about too. So for the sit down, so I clicked on Magic Kingdom for right now, and I saw that you can also do multiple filters. So I can see the wait times and dining at the same time. So I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I can see the lower wait times, but I can also, like, if I'm hungry, I can see like, oh, well, I want to eat now. So I'm looking. So at the sit down restaurants, you may want to try to get one of those last minute ADRs. You might want to try to get in Be Our Guest. You thought, well, I couldn't get an ADR for the whole 60 days coming up to this, but maybe I can get one of those walk up ADRs. I can join the walk up list. Well, right now, walk up's not currently available at Be Our Guest because of high demand, but it would show up if it was. Because like right now, as I'm looking, the Diamond Horseshoe Review, 10-minute estimated wait. So I could click on that and join the walk up list and get in. So say if I'm at the studios, now this would never happen to me because they have a thing against me for sci-fi. I cannot get in sci-fi no matter what. I
haven't been in there in years.
Me neither. And everybody's like, I talked to all these people on the Monday shows, like, yeah, went to sci-fi. Not me. Like they have a force field against me. And I sat there outside, like, join the wait list, never available. I was even at Pop Center trying to get in. But this is another way to kind of to see like wait times. And if you're kind of like just like, you're fishing to try to get into a table service restaurant that maybe you want to get in that park. This is a good way to see it at the same time. Pam, that's a great tip. I love this.
I know it really is. And it's just something that for some reason is not super intuitive, but it's super useful. I think like you, so many people just sort of skip over this, but it is really useful. The filter, you can drill down in the filter. Like Mike said, when you're looking at dining in particular, you can not only sort by location, and you can choose by more than one location, by the way, too. I could choose, let's say I'm staying at the Yacht Club and I'm like, I want to eat somewhere tonight, and I'll eat anywhere in Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Boardwalk, Yacht Club, and Beach Club. I can choose all
good
of
options
those.
there. I wish
exactly. Right? But you can choose, like Mike said, by cuisine. You can also choose by dining experience, whether reservations are accepted. Maybe you want a buffet. Maybe you're looking for character dining. All of those are choices and more. And if you're looking for quick service too, you can filter by the quick service locations that have mobile order, because that's what Mike likes. So he's going to be filtering by mobile order. And also they have a dining plan there. So whenever we get the dining plan back, you can tease. I know, right? Right. I know. But you can do, you can also filter by price range too. So again, it's a really powerful tool because that's a lot of filters for something to include or exclude. And this always works pretty well, I'm going to say. Now, knock on wood now, watch. This is the thing I use all the time. And if it breaks, I'll be upset. But no, this usually works really well. And so I love that the app has that.
Dude, I could order right now. I could order corn dog nuggets from Casey's. It take me a while to get there, but man, those sound really good right about now. That's a great tip. And I mean, I'm going to use that little geographical thing in the filters. I mean, because here's the thing. I like to use my time when I'm riding the bus, say from like Pop Center to the Magic Kingdom, to kind of look at the lay of the land. Okay, I want to see like what the wait times look like. I'll even mobile order my lunch, even if it's breakfast time. I'll get my mobile order thing in because you just got to push that I'm there. You can do that hours ahead of time if you're like locked in. Like when I go to the studios, I know I'm getting that buffalo chicken grilled cheese. So I just order it. And, and I try to guess the time. You can always modify the time. Like I'll put it like 12 o'clock. But if I'm hungry at 11:30, I'll just modify it and get it at 11:30. Usually you can do that. There's a lot of flexibility there. And you can, when you got downtime, you can get in and be proactive with the app too. That's what I found out over the years.
I agree. That's the thing. I mean, I think that at times, every now and then you hear a complaint that because of my Disney experience, you are forced to spend more time on your phone. And I'm like, that's not an argument that really resonates well with me, because I feel like I only tend to use it during other times. And also, by the way, only one person in your family would ever need to use the app. You know what I mean? To do it for your whole family. And when you see families whose nose are in the phone, it's the whole family who's in the phone. They aren't making my Disney experience like choices or anything. They're doing other stuff. So even like when you make, let's say you have Genie Plus and you're going to make your Lightning Lane reservations, one person can do it for the whole party. So it doesn't require you really to spend that much more time on the phone. You, like Mike, I tend to do it when I have a little downtime, like, in transportation or on the way to something, or even when I'm in a queue waiting for something else to happen. Then I'm looking at my phone saying, okay, what am I going to do next? What are the wait times look like? Stuff like that. So.
All right, Ricky, give us a pro level tip for this app.
All right. Are you ready for this one? So this is a fantastic tip that I am so glad Disney added. They added this relatively recently. So if you have been recently and you drive, this is just the most handy tip. And that is the fact that they can now in the app do a car locator. So when you park your car in the parking lot, you can actually pull up the My Disney Experience app, and there's going to be a button that says car locator. You click on that in the app, and then you can actually, now it works two different ways. One is if you're there, and it can use location services to actually find and save your parking details. And I've done this, and this actually does work relatively well. I mean, it knows pretty much which lane I've parked in. And it will, save that, app or save the location for me, when I do it when I'm walking to, either the front gates or when I'm walking to take the tram. But if for some reason, like it says, oh, hey, we think you're, in SCAR, 116 or whatever, and you're actually in SCAR 117, you can actually just save your vehicle location, manually as well. So all you have to do is just, manually enter that information. And then at the end of the night, when you are ready to leave and you're like, oh no, I forgot where I parked my car, because inevitably, you're not going to remember, you can actually pull it up and it will say, hey, you parked your car in, SCAR 117, which I know is probably not the right, number, but I'm just going with it. So, it'll tell you, hey, that's where you parked. And you can now finding your car in 117 is going to be a challenge. I can't tell you the number of times where I'm like, I thought, I didn't think I walked this far, but, I definitely did. So, that's a challenge in itself. But the fact that you will have the location a little bit more handy is a huge thing. So, yeah.
Good tip. Yeah, that's a new thing. So here's another thing that I don't know if people know you can do this. You can unlock your hotel room door with your phone. Now, this works if your Magic Band isn't working. Say you're staying in the 90s at Pop Century. Not that this has ever happened to me, but it has. And you get out there and you're tired. You got your bag, and you're doing this move, right? You're trying to bend, and you're getting your Magic Band up to the door. Boom, boom, and it just keeps giving you the old red light. Red light, red light, red light. You're like, oh, just want to get in my room. Just want to get in my room. You have one last shot. And if you go in, and I believe it's under, it's under Resort Hotel. If you click on that, there's an option in there. And now of course my app's locked up. So I'm going to restart it. But under Resort Hotel, there's a thing that says, and I would try this anyway, even if your Magic Band is working, because when you do this, because you use the RFID in your phone,
yes,
is that, especially if you have a kid, it's going to give you this cool animation. It'll do like a little pixie dust sound. It'll go like it does little stars, and it opens up your door. It's kind of magical.
It is.
I love this, and I've used it many times rather than my Magic Band just to open my door. It's kind of a backup little system, but if you don't have a Magic Band or your room key, it works, and it's always worked for me.
It's true. And Steve uses it actually exclusively because he doesn't like to wear a Magic Band. And he just will use his phone to open the door 9 times out of 10. So that's it is a really cool feature, and it is kind of magical too. It sort of is a Mickey head made out of pixie dust when you hold it up to the thing to unlock the door. So love that.
Fun. It is. Okay, so what else can we use in this thing? There's so much in it now.
I know, right? Okay, so here's another little tip. Down here, we're going to go all the way to the right at the bottom of the screen. There's the hamburger.
Yep.
You have the ability, when you click on that, to actually chat with Disney. So let's say you're encountering a problem, being when you're at home linking a ticket or linking a reservation or making a reservation, or you're in the park and you're encountering some kind of technological challenge with it. You can actually chat with Disney at that point, and you just go ahead and click it, and they can help with most of the other activities, going on there, most of the challenges you may have. Now, if they can't, they'll refer you, they'll give you the phone number then of someone that you can contact. But that's a really useful figure to just ask questions, to say, I'm having a technology issue or whatnot. I think that's really useful too. And also, if you go to that hamburger, there's a lot of other things that are really important as well.
There are. So, and that's a good tip, because you're always trying to get help. If you're standing in a line, you just have a question, why not shoot it right there in the chat and see
exactly
get an answer? Again, it's stuff in there that I've never used, but I'm not against using. So Ricky, what else would you use this for?
Okay, so this one I just found, and I think it's wow. This is really cool. So under the little hamburger thing, you click on healthcare services, and Disney actually has a connection with Advent Health. And apparently, there's a way for you to click on it and visit Advent Health's portal, which is really interesting. And it'll allow you to go to the web and get to Advent Health. They actually have for video visits and stuff like that, urgent care. You can get prescription deliveries, stuff like that. So that's really helpful. I didn't know that existed until I started looking in the app. So that's cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here too through that Advent Health, and it shows somebody doing a telehealth kind of call there from the resort hotel room. This is one of those things that as a parent, and Ricky's a new parent, Pam, we're parents, that if you have a little one, we hear this from our guests, right? You never know when a kid's going to get strep throat or, get some kind of a bug, an earache when they're down at Walt Disney World. And this is just, to me, knowing this is there is 90% of the reason I would want to have this here.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Agreed. Yeah.
So like I said, I didn't even know this existed until we just started looking in the app, to do the show. And I was like, that's actually really helpful for people. Because, inevitably when you are down there and you have a child who's sick, or you yourself are sick or whatever, a lot of the questions are, oh no, how do I get to the doctor? Or, where's the closest, hospital down in Orlando, or whatever you need. So this is a really helpful way to do that for sure.
Cool. Okay. So real quick, it's a fun thing to do real quick on the app that you can do right now is you can use these PhotoPass lenses, kind of like Snapchat lenses. I was using these this afternoon. There's a Haunted Mansion one. There's an Encanto. There's all kinds. So go in there. About half of them you can use right now from home. So if you're kind of missing Walt Disney World and you want to have some fun, you want to look like you're in one of the portraits in the Haunted Mansion, get in there, have a good time. Some have animations like fireworks, and we'll put some sunglasses on you. There's one where it really looks like you're eating a Mickey bar. So, and it kind of stinks because you don't get to taste it, but it's a cool picture for social media. But there's some that, while you're down there, you got to be in the hub at the Magic Kingdom to get the Pink Castle. You got to be in Epcot for some, all the parks. But that's kind of a fun thing. When we're down there sharing on social media, that's something that I think Mallory would get a kick out of. What am I saying? I'll get a kick out of it. But
yeah, don't lie, Mike. It's you.
I'm a 15-year-old girl. But so it's just one of those things they threw in there for fun. Obviously, it benefits them because there's a share button right there. You can save to your camera roll. You can also share to social media if they want you to do that. But you're on vacation. Have fun. Show everybody eating a fake Mickey bar. But then here's the important part. Go eat a real Mickey bar.
This is true. And then take that picture. And then
absolutely. Don't just eat the fake Mickey bar. You're at Walt Disney World. Eat a real one. And exactly. An sandwich. Both. Okay, Pam, what else?
So also in that area that we've been talking about, that hamburger button, when you click it, this is actually the place where you can go ahead and give a cast compliment.
Yes.
And I love that they have that. I really do. They've made it so easy to make that happen. So go ahead and click that button if you have a cast member, and you can give a bit of the details about the magical experience that you had. But again, I think that this is really cool that Disney made this so much easier to do than it used to be able to do. It's actually, you have to scroll down a little bit to see it, but they're going to ask, what you're acknowledging the cast member for, send magic to a cast member for, and you have a few different things to choose from, actually a pretty good list. And then you want to say the location where the cast member was and the cast member name and hometown, if you remember it, and also the date of your interaction, and you can do that. And I know that those go right to that cast member. So that's a very cool thing, or to the cast member's leader, who then will share it with them, I believe. So
it's so easy right there, because you can do it in the queue. You don't have to walk to City Hall,
exactly. Exactly.
You're like, I forgot to do it. You can do it when you're back at Pop Century, like, forgot, boom, put it in. Okay, Ricky, one last thing from the app. What do you see?
So the last thing is that they actually have some really kind of fun. Now, if you're on social media or, in the Disney community all the time, you may see these, just posted on Disney's social media sites. But they have like different like stories that you can, learn more about the parks, or, learn more about, like, for right now, there's it's Earth Month. So they have like spotlights on like animal experts at Animal Kingdom. They have right now the fact that you can make a video for, the 50th, you could take the pictures from your 50th anniversary trips and then make a fun.
That was the sound you heard earlier. That was me making a video because I was doing
Got it. Make a fun video. They have, like I said, a lot of it right now is for Animal Kingdom because they just celebrated their 25th anniversary. So they have like 25 facts from 25 years. Just things like that you can learn more about the parks. And I just think that that's really great and a really fun way to, pass the time if you are standing in line and you do want to, you should get on your My Disney Experience app and learn more about where you're at, or the animals, or, whatever article, and I use that in quotes because it's a video article, but whatever you've got, they've got going on in the parks for that time period, it's kind of handy and helpful.
Absolutely. And I think if you're getting excited for your next trip, you're 2 months out and you're just hankering to get there. You're listening to a podcast, you're like, God, I just can't wait to get back to Walt Disney World, but I don't get to go till the summer. Look at the homepage on the app. I mean, there's a lot of content there. Of course, and we haven't talked about, like, you can buy Genie Plus. You can see, that's where you're going to make your Genie Plus selections. That's where you're going to buy individual lightning lanes. Obviously, that's where you'll join the virtual queues. I mean, we could talk about that stuff, but that stuff's pretty straightforward. But like Ricky said, there's good content here to get you jazzed up. I mean, it's going to show you all your PhotoPass pictures from the past year or so that, from previous trips, and people that you're linked to through friends and family will be on there. So I always see interesting pictures of like Ricky and Brian and Scott and his family, Pam and her family. If you're an annual pass holder, you get the annual pass holder little magazine there. It's called the Pass Holder Buzz. So you can read through that. It talks to you about magic bands, what your magic band will do, your magic band plus. So you can learn about that so that you're getting all the capabilities out of that when you arrive. It's getting you jazzed up, but it's also giving you fun information to get the most out of your trip when you're there.
Exactly.
The last thing I wanted to tell you is because Disney's kind of moving away from those plastic annual pass holder cards.
Yes.
To show like you're an AP holder for like when you go into a store to get a discount. What they're going to say is show it to me on the My Disney Experience app. And the way you do that is you go again to the hamburger menu, the 3 lines, and then there's the thing that says My Profile. Under all those boxes is the top thing. It says My Profile. And if you just go to memberships and passes, it'll pop up and it'll show you what you're a member of. So it'll tell you, like me, I'm a Walt Disney World annual pass holder until May 28th. That's when I got to pay the piper again. Thank God for Disney Visa, because that'll be my reward.
I know. I just paid mine too.
All those rewards points for the year, right out the door.
Yep.
But, it's funny though, because I use just one email address. So it also says I'm a Disney Visa card holder and Disney Plus subscriber. So, it knows all that stuff. And that's how you prove if you want to get your discounts, just right there. So you can just, it's real handy. You just go to the app, hit the hamburger menu, My Profile, memberships and passes. And that's what I've used. So That's my last tip. Pam, anything else? And we'll close it out. And hopefully people have gotten one nugget or two that'll help them, get more out of this on their next trip.
It does. It helps to sort of play around with it before you leave. Before you leave home, so that you're sort of familiar with it. The one thing I will mention is too, on that hamburger screen again, that's where that has the Play Disney Parks app. And when you're especially in Galaxy's Edge, there's some things you can do, but there's games that you can play throughout the whole parks. And if you're inclined to sort of do things like that, that may be a section of the app that you want to check out too. Actually, I know when I stayed at Galactic Star Cruiser, the Play app we used constantly. That's a big part of your experience there. But it absolutely is available in the parks too. And you can even do stuff from home as well.
All right. So here's the deal. It's the weekend now. We're going to have a great weekend. I'm going to hope that you have an awesome weekend. But on social media this weekend, if we left out your favorite tip for using the My Disney Experience app, please tweet it to me at BeOurGuestMike. I'm going to retweet that for the good of the cause, so that we can kind of get all these other apps and tips for the app out there, so that hopefully I can learn to use the app better myself with my family when we go down in July. And also all of us, for the good of the cause. We can all help each other get the most out of these apps and have a better experience. That's what this podcast is all about, having fun, sharing memories, but also making the most of these awesome Disney vacations. So again, at BeOurGuestMike, let me know your favorite tip for using the My Disney Experience app. All right, we're going to jump out of here and wish you a great weekend. Don't forget, our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. One of the great things, we don't talk about this often, but you're going to pay the same price booking directly through Disney as you will booking with us at the Magic for Less. It supports the show. It supports a small business. That's a great thing. But also, I think this is one of the best things going. When you book with the Magic for Less, you get these tips in your email periodically. Not, we don't spam you, but you're going to get them like once a week, just kind of get you excited for your trip. And what they're going to tell you, tips like this, they're going to tell you how to get the most out of the My Disney Experience app. They're going to tell you, hey, it's almost time to make your ADR. So let's start thinking about, how do you want to go about that? What are you thinking? Or just make sure you got those theme park reservations lined up, or, we get you excited. How about thinking about Memory Maker? Here's some of the advantages of getting that. Here's the cost. We're always giving you tips so that you have information to make good choices for your Disney vacation. We just want you to have the information. We don't want you to go to Walt Disney World or Disneyland or go on a cruise and say, I didn't know. That, it's kind of the worst thing. You go on a vacation, like, I wish I would have known before I left home about this or that. We try to give you, and they're fun. I'll tell you, our agents are great at writing these tips because they're always current, they're always up to date, but they're always written from a fan perspective. Because one thing about our agents is we're Disney geeks. We love the place. I mean, I'm sitting here behind a microphone. I do this 5 times a week. I love talking about Disney. I love it. So when we write, and all of our agents are like this. I mean, they don't all talk into microphones like a fool like me, but they're all just as passionate Disney fans as I am. So the thing is, you're going to get great kind of pixie dust in your inbox. It's going to give you information, but more than that, it's going to get you excited for your trip too. So it's kind of twofold there. So when you book with us, that's kind of a little bonus that you get every time. So just swing by themagicforless.com, fill out that quote form. We'd love to work with you this weekend and moving forward here in 2023, and be patient. 2024 trips will come out eventually. I promise you. It's not happening yet, but it will happen. It always does. So just hang tight. We'll make it. And I'd love to work with you. So again, check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It helps us throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons. You guys allow us to put these shows out all the time. And I can't thank you enough for that. If you'd like to get that bonus show called Mike in the Midwest, we'd love to have you. Come on over to patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Give Ricky a follow on social media at Ricky Nibs, RIKKI and IBS. Pam's at TMFLT Pam, and I'm at BeOurGuest Mike, Instagram and Twitter. We'd love to talk to you this weekend. And of course, join us Sunday night. Scott and I will be on the air taking your calls. It's the BOGP open line on Facebook and YouTube at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We'll be looking for your call. All right, we're going to jump out of here and wish you a great weekend. So until we talk again, for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Crap. I hit the stop button before I said the last word. I meant to hit the other button. Dang it. I cut off myself.
You're too good.
I don't think I hit the... Oh, dude. Oh, well.
See you, real.
It's going to be like, we'll see.
That's all right.
You should just put a sound in there.
I think
yeah. Where's the
see you, real? There you go.
Dang.
That's all right.
That's too funny.
At least he didn't like press stop,
right
halfway through the episode or something.
I didn't know I'm in a hurry. I edit the end anyway.
Yeah,
I got my hand on the button. I don't know. I'm just an idiot. Like, I don't even need to do that. Hey.
I stopped recording halfway through the episode. Mike, what's wrong with you?
Hang on.
Are we supposed to hear it?
We'll see you. Oh, you couldn't hear it?
No, we couldn't hear it.
You said, we'll see you.
All right, well, that works. We'll see you.
We'll see you.
I'll record me saying.
See you when I see you, sucker.
Yeah. Everybody hanging. People will be on the treadmill like,
what?
Is there more?
What? When?
No?
When will I see you? When will I see you again? Like Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, no.
All right. I appreciate you guys going early.
All right.
Have a good dinner.
All right.
See y'all.
Guys.